Hey, good morning, everybody. Just getting things set up here. Paul should be joining us shortly, as far as I know. Russell is first. Thank you for showing up first there, Russell. I just came back from flying a ship, and I've got all that edit to do, but it's not crucial that I get it done right away. And the sad part of it is that I got that ship not that long ago. John G. Munson, I got it on the 9th of September. And today being the 16th, so about a week ago. The John G. Munson. Better write that down. Up is Upbound, and today is the 16th. Okay, try to keep everything straight, you know. So Russell's here, Phantom Hodges. There's always time for Tim Hortons. Yes, there is, Paul. Undoubtedly, because after my ship, I went to Timmy Hortons too. So, yeah. It and anybody want to know what I got? Got my favorite Boston creams. Place was jumping. The parking, the drive-through was lined up around the building. So I decided to go in. I went in, got my donuts, came out, and there's still people in line that I saw in line before. So Wayne B's Sunstar, good morning. Yeah, it's kind of a little bit hazy out there, as you can see. I don't know if it's a foggy haze or what it is, but yeah. Is what it is. The I'm going to screen share and show you give you guys a quick preview since we're kind of waiting for everybody to join up. This is the John G. Munson that I just got done shooting. I won't make you guys sit through the whole thing, but we'll just skip along here. It's the Great Lakes Fleet, which is United States Steel in cooperation with some other conglomerates. And you can see it's a little bit hazy out there. There is quite a few fishing boats out there. This is, they've been doing some real serious fishing. This is where I'm parked right here, and you can see my fat ass sitting on my stool right there. Might be able to see it when we go by. No. All right, nope. Okay. A little bit of wind, not much. It's headed for Calcite is where that ship is heading, up into Lake Huron and on to Calcite. Let me skip ahead a little bit here to the ending. You can see the fishing boats out here. Okay, stop share. That was the ship I just did about a half hour ago. I was flying the Air 2S. That's become my go-to drones ever since I sold my Phantoms and my Inspires. I used to have an Inspire 1, Inspire 2. And I had the Mavic 2 Pro, the Mavic 2 Zoom. I had the Mavic Enterprise with thermal imaging. You know, I've played with them all, but that Air 2S is really does everything I want to do, flies in heavier winds and just does a great job, you know, with the bigger sensor. So what's everybody's plans for the weekend? Anybody got a big plan? Hey, Z, David, how you doing? Now, except at the nighttime. Now, you know, they talk about the Mini 3, which I have the Mini 3, about how good it works in low light. It doesn't compare to the Autel Nano Plus. And I keep that over there just specifically for doing night flights, because the down along the river, there's lots of lights and lots of things to see. And it just is second to none. I can't say enough to let everybody know that if that's any kind of thing that you are interested in doing, then that's kind of where you ought to be. Let me see if I can pull up one of my recent night shots. Okay, this is going to be 2 days ago. The Herbert C. As you can see, the colors really pop. That shot in auto. There's the bridges lit up at night. Now, you can tell I sped this up a little bit. Controls on the Autel aren't the same as on the DJI. I'm going down the side of the ship, doing a little bit of a waver. I think there's a lag in the control system that causes you to overcorrect. But still, as far as the camera goes, the only problem is, you notice the wind is pretty strong. And I was having trouble panel. Not steady wise, but as far as going against the it's coming out of the water, back into the water. And I was able to do that, but coming up the other side of the ship took longer than it should have because it didn't have the steam. But the quality of the imagery. There it is, heading out of dark blue. There's the Fort Gratiot Lighthouse right there. So as you can see, it really is good. Yeah, Tim Hortons, I'll tell you what. I had to stop, even though I know better. I love the Boston creams. They are by far my favorite. They're a chocolate frosted donut with custard filled inside. I was a bad boy. Okay, Mr. B, you got the Mini 2? Yep, I've had the Mini 2, had the Mini 1, had the Pros, had the combos. Of course, I always recommend if you're going to buy and fly, get the combo. Got to have more than one battery, plus the charging ports make it really nice. No, I don't have too much trouble with the ship radar. Oh, Hodges. Oh, Paul.
Yeah, since the host is not allowing participants to unmute themselves, I can't get on.
Well, hang on a minute. Let me look. Wonder where that would be under.
It says it won't allow me to unmute.
I've got a check that says allow participants to unmute themselves.
Okay, maybe I have to do it.
Yeah, I don't know, Paul. I've got it checked so you can. Let me try this. Ask to unmute.
Oh, should I do to unmute? Okay, unmute. Oh, it's not working.
Wow. Hey, you might have to reboot.
Let me go reboot. I'll see what happens.
Okay, Paul.
Okay. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Yeah, I wonder why Paul was sitting there in the dark with his being muted. Yep, fly more. David, how are you doing? How are things in Arizona? Still a bit warm down there, or is somebody said that you were experiencing a little bit of rain on and off? Hey, JD, good morning. Yes, Mia. So anyway, it's just an interesting day for sure.
Well,
How you doing?
okay, that's working.
Oh, thank you.
Well, I don't know what happened, but I couldn't unmute my sound. I couldn't unmute my video, nothing. It's that the host won't allow you to.
Well, I double checked it again and it says you can mute and unmute yourself.
And then when you said come in to say to unmute, I tried to go in and it wouldn't allow me to. So, anyways,
Hey, there's Ron.
Hey, guys.
How's things out there?
Good. Hey, Paul, did you get my email yesterday morning?
Which Paul?
Paul Murray.
Yeah, about you weren't gonna be able to make it? Yeah.
Yeah. I was hoping I would reach you. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, I got last minute phone call and I left here at 4 yesterday morning. Got home at 8:30 last night.
Wow.
Yeah, our one guy is not sure if he's gonna make it back this season. One of our else big main guys.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this is my guess, but he's got some severe problems with his liver, and
Ooh, that's not good.
he's had a lot of back problems throughout the years, and he's just been taking a pile of pain meds. And a lot of people, try to mask a problem with pain medicine, and when you take it in excess, I mean, it's not like he was a drug abuser or anything, but he just was always popping Tylenol and all kinds of stuff. And I honestly think that's what damaged his liver. But yeah, his ammonia levels were up. I'm kind of glad I wasn't there. He's a big dude. Became very violent and disoriented one day here, and just because the ammonia levels were up from the liver. So
Wow.
yeah.
Good morning, JDS.
oh, I don't have chat up yet for some reason.
Yeah, long story short, we're short one of our main guys, so everybody else has got to step in.
Everybody's
So I went from scouting to doing taxidermy work on a buffalo hide yesterday, helping the
wow.
boss. We took one of the other guides and I went up to one of the ranches and was putting water in a watering trough and got the truck stock, and oh my God, it just was full of adventure yesterday.
Wow.
Good morning, JDS and Mr. B.
It makes
Hey,
the
dude.
day go quick, doesn't it?
It did. I was tired at the end of the day. And thank God for my one buddy, aka ex-cop. He come up to me yesterday. He was actually in my truck for a little bit. He goes, Ron, did you realize your registration on your truck's about to expire? I'm like, oh shit. And I went digging for the reminder card I got from the county. It's like, oh my God. So I got to get that paid. I can't be running around with expired
So
plates.
you do your tags and everything at the county level?
Yeah, you can write down the county.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we have to go here to the Michigan Secretary of State.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
special. Fred the critters already this morning. Oh my God.
Yeah.
This one doe, she was running too fast and she stepped in a little gutter and tripped and fell. Man, you should have seen. I was standing in the porch and I could hear them all coming. You know, there they come. And she was hauling butt and she stepped in a little bit of a gutter. And next, you know, she was ass over tin cups and I'm like, hey, easy, easy. You don't have to run that fast. There's plenty here.
Yeah, you sure wouldn't want her to break her leg.
No.
So Ron, I had a good one here yesterday. I
Mm.
come back from my bus run, go to back in their driveway, and here's the London Police Canine Unit. They had two canine units right across the street, and just one parking spot up was the St. Thomas Canine Unit. Then you go down the street, there was another London Canine Unit in my neighborhood, and not a cop to be found. Nowhere. I was looking around, no cops.
The dogs were in the cars, right, Paul?
The dogs were in the cars. The cars were running, I guess, keep the air conditioning going or something to keep the animal cool. I'm sitting there trying to figure out what the hell's going on in the neighborhood. Look in my backyard and around. I don't see any cops. What the hell's going on? 2 doors down, my neighbor, he's a London police officer.
Mhm.
Well, apparently he's becoming a canine officer. So they're all down here helping him build a kennel.
Oh, jeez.
I come home. Holy shit, what's going on in the neighborhood?
Big drug bust.
What, 4 canine units? Like, what the hell are they doing? You know,
Well, the obvious thing that first thing out of Paul's mouth when he told me yesterday was, and the dogs were sitting in the cars, they weren't even out, and there was no cops around.
there's not a cop to see it. No, not even one sitting in a cruiser or looking around or keep an eye on things or nothing. I just, what the hell?
Wow.
So Paul went to my buddy's last night for coffee. I wasn't planning on it.
Yeah.
He called me up 7:15. This is the guy I did all the pictures for.
Right.
So anyways, because he's going away, leaving Monday, so I'm not going to see him for at least a week or so. He's going away on holidays. So anyways, while I was online last night, you know, like I'm doing edited all the pictures, put them on a jump drive.
Yeah.
And so anyways, he called me, he texted me, you come for coffee? So, okay, got something to tell you. So anyways, I get over there. He's got a fire going in his backyard. He does this all the time. Coffee, you know, we sit there and shoot the breeze. Well, I went and did all those pictures, got them all edited, but during the afternoon, he called a RV place in Smithville at Sicard's, their big outfit. You want somebody to come down and do an appraisal on this RV because he, you know, he don't know what price to put on it to sell it, right? He's going to pay for an appraisal. He sold it right to them right there and then. He said,
Right
when do
there.
you want to check? And they're coming to pick it up at noon today. They bought it unseen and everything else already.
So all those pictures you did were just nice memorabilia.
Yep, that's all it is now.
Show,
Didn't even get a chance to post it.
Have you got a picture there you can show Ron, the RV you're talking about?
Oh, yeah, I got it here someplace here. Hang on. You just got to find
It's a
where I put
really
it.
nice big RV that his buddy was selling because he's just not using it.
But they bought it unseen, 105,000. He's only got 14,000 miles on it, right? So, okay. Okay, this is it right here, Ron.
Wow.
Only got 14,000 miles on it. It's a V10, but it's got 3 slide outs on it, 1 on this side and 2 on the other, and awnings. Everything's electric. Even the screen in the front there comes down. It's all electric. This thing is just fully loaded. It's a 2015, I think it is, but sold it for 105,000 over the phone. They haven't even seen it. Or RV dealer. They'll bring them a check and they'll come at noon to pick it up.
No kid. Wow.
Yeah, because I was telling Paul, I said, this really is a tough time of year, especially in Canada, to be selling a motorhome unless they're going to buy it and travel south with it,
No, his RV dealer didn't even hesitate because he can't get them.
Oh, wow. Wow. Yeah, I was starting to wonder, recently. My truck's up to like 175,000.
Wow.
And I
Yeah,
have to have a truck.
still looks like new.
It does. It's
Oh, yeah.
exterior, it's beautiful. The interior is excellent. But mechanically, it's starting to show its age a little bit. Overall, the only thing I've really done was those 2 spark plug coil issues in the last 6 months. And I had it's called a throttle actuator.
Then they used to call it is that what they used to call a throttle body?
I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Remember, you're talking to a couple of older guys here now.
Yeah. But anyhow, that's the only 3 things I've done. Other than tires and oil change.
You got 175,000 on it?
I didn't buy it new. I bought it. It had 39,000 on it.
Right here, if you go to the dealers here in St. Thomas right now, or Ford and GM, you can't buy a new car, but they must have 30, 40 brand new pickup trucks there. I don't know, no cars. Got all kinds of pickups. Like even Chrysler, they got so many pickups. They got a secondary yard over by my where I work at Batter Bus. And anyways, they just a store, extra pickups.
Well, we sit and think with the current gas prices, who wants to buy a pickup right now, unless you actually need one.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. So I guess I missed the fun. I got back to the yard too quick there yesterday, Paul. I get back at 4 o'clock, and about 4 o'clock or shortly after, the guy parked beside me in my bus, and Dave, some car rear-ended him yesterday.
Railroad.
But no kids on the bus. He was just on his way to the school. Like he does 2 schools, but he had emptied out and he was on his way to the second one. And the guy that hit him was 58 years old on a G1 license, a G1 here in Ontario. You cannot drive by yourself. You got to have a licensed driver beside you. It's basically a beginner's license. 58 years old. His insurance card was expired, and that guy got a lot of charges. But the funny thing is, the bus got a few scratches on the bumper, but his hood was all folded right up to the windshield. And
wow.
Yeah. But it was funny because the cops were called. They get there, and the one cop was really good with the driver. He said, you give me a minute. I got to call dispatch because I'm away to a school to pick kids up. They're waiting for me. And cop said, oh, shit, no, you're fine. You go do it. I'll call you tonight about 6:30, and I'll get a statement from you then. So they didn't even hardly hold the bus up at all. I guess they took a couple pictures with a cell phone and said, go. But, yeah. And the funny thing is, like Dave, he's big on Facebook, eh? He's on a trip on a bus or he's doing this and he's on Facebook all the time. I said, that's funny. I never seen the action on Facebook. You ain't putting that on there. Hey, good morning, Bill from Newfound Drone Productions. Then RB Rails in there too this morning. Good morning, guys. Welcome to the stream. Yep, and today's Friday.
2 days after Hump Day.
Yep. I'll be talking to you guys from Copenhagen, Ontario at 5 o'clock tonight, or around that time. Depends how quick I can get out of here. I gotta go pull one sign, and then run it across town, just south of town. Then I gotta go put it back up. I need to go get some groceries today, and went to make a coffee today and went, you had enough I could scrape the bottom and make a cup, but that was it. Gotta go get some coffee. I got enough dog food and everything, but I just don't have any others feel the things that need milk and all that kind of stuff.
Here's remember me telling you about the bear about a couple weeks ago when walking through the woods?
Oh yeah.
And the guys told me like, oh yeah, Ron, you saw Bigfoot. Well, I was with the boss yesterday. I'm like, can I get a picture of that bear from your trail camera? He gave it to me. But here, share screen. He's not a big one, but there's no question. Yeah.
Whoa, hello. Was that a big barrel?
Yes. He was sitting there beating the crap out of that thing. But yeah, it's definitely a bear, no question.
What would you say? Standing up, he's about 5 feet.
Yeah, about that.
Hmm.
He's probably about a 300 pounder at the most. Big enough to kick my butt though. Gonna have an interesting breakfast later this morning. Waiting for my friend Larry to call. There were a couple guys up at the lodge yesterday. They're from Pennsylvania, and they finished up yesterday. I think they go home tomorrow. But we're all going to meet up in Moorcroft, which is 10 minutes or so from me. But the one guy, he's from the same area I was from, and he was Amish, and he has left the Amish when he was in his 20s. But I was talking to him a little bit about it yesterday, and so I'll probably hit him up with a few more questions.
Well, when they leave the religion, is what I take it.
Mm-hmm.
Do they get excommunicated or something? Or
oh yeah, they're done. They're what they call shunned, and that's when they have. It's called Rumspringa, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. It's a time period where the kids, I believe it's from age 14 to 18, they're given like a year to go out and experience what is known as the English world. You and I are the English.
right.
And anything goes. Anything. And you can tell when it's going on. You'll see the Amish girls at like Walmart and that, all dressed up, makeup on, like some of them are like looking pretty good.
You're wearing the mini skirts and everything. And
Oh yeah, the only thing is that, you got to remember to shave your legs and all that stuff. But yeah, and then at the end they are to make the decision then if they wish to remain with the church or go on with the English world. And if they do, they're shunned. They're done. So I find that very odd.
I wonder what the percentage is of all the kids that go through that. How many of them say, "Okay, shun me, I'm out of here"?
From what I hear, and I could be incorrect, the vast majority of them stay with the church.
Well, I would think that would only be natural, because if the majority of them did not, the church would change a little bit.
Yeah.
Because pretty soon they wouldn't have any followers.
Yeah. Like I've seen a lot of them, like back where I was from, they used to go out and they'd go to New York City, go to Atlantic City, like to the casinos and, different things. And they see all this wild technology and things that they'd never seen before. And I think it kind of scares them a little bit. I had a guy, one hunting cabin I belonged to back home. He was used to be Amish, and he left the church, and I mean he's happy he did. But he has some good stories.
I would imagine it's like anything else is when you close the door on that life, do you kind of have regrets because you missed those people, not the religion, the people,
The people,
because you
yeah.
said they shun you. You could call them up and they don't talk to you, you know?
Yeah, that's why, I guess there has to be a specification on shun. Is it you are not permitted any communication with anybody there, including?
Well, you know,
I don't know.
I only go by what I've seen and read. But if somebody is shunned, let's say you walked into a funeral home, right?
Right.
And you're shunned, everybody would turn their back to you, not look at you or anything.
I remember, when was that? Back in, shoot. We were just talking about that yesterday. I want to say it was back in 12, 11, something like that. The Amish schoolhouse shooting that was in Pennsylvania. It was
Right.
national news.
And
It was a couple months later, the couple of the kids that survived, they wanted to meet their rescuers, and the Amish elders permitted that. They built a new schoolhouse. The Amish elders said we don't want they don't like publicity. So they allowed one ambulance, one police car, and there were 5 helicopters, including ours there. And they allowed us to come in. And what they had was the kids that were there. The one girl I really felt bad for, she was shot in the head. And she was basically like a crippled at that point. She was in a wheelchair and on a ventilator and whatnot. But anyhow, they had a Paul Hodges, man, you would go to town. Those Amish women, they can cook.
Oh,
They had this
no doubt about it.
food. Oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
It was incredible. And you ever have shoe fly pie?
What?
shoe
Shoe
fly.
fly pie?
No, I never
Murray
had
knows
that.
what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Have you had it, Paul Murray?
No, but I've heard of it.
Yeah,
I've heard of it. Yeah.
it's good. Anyhow, I guess getting to my point, we were there at this little reunion event for about an hour. And the one Amish elder was kind of pacing back and forth. And I went over and I was talking to him for a little bit. And he was very much against anybody being there and this whole event taking place. And he felt that it was, how did he say it? He said, it makes the children's heads swell up. And too much, how did he say it? Almost like too much publicity or attention or whatever. And I said to him, and I actually made him stop and think. And I said to him, sir, I respect your religion and your beliefs and whatnot. I said, you went to that same schoolhouse. It's been there for years. And I said, did anybody ever come into your schoolhouse and shoot the place up and line all the girls up on the blackboard and shoot them in the head? No. I said, this is something very traumatic for them. And if this helps them get closure, I said, then I would hope you would understand, but I still respect your beliefs. And he actually stopped and thought about that you could tell he was thinking, like, well, maybe this guy's right. I don't know.
Now, what kind of Mennonites do you have there?
We have Mennonites back in Pennsylvania. I know in the eastern side of South Dakota, they have, and Paul, they may venture, Paul Murray, your way. They're called Hutterites.
Yep. Yeah,
Do they
we've
have
got them
that?
up northwest of us.
Yeah. And I think that is the East Coast version of the Mennonites. Now they're almost, I guess, the way you would describe, like almost like half Amish. Like they will actually drive a car. The cars are very basic, no chrome, no stereos, fancy anything. They will use electricity. Now here's what's weird. is one of my best friends back home. He had a thing for Mennonite women. He ended up marrying one. And
Okay, Chuck.
oh, hey, Chuck.
Well, Ron, the question I have is, how do they look at modern day medicine? I don't see them as running to the doctors or anything
They
else.
don't. They actually hated us, not hated us, but did not want us. When we, again, I did ground ambulance and helicopter back home. And a lot of our helicopter flights to the Amish, when you got called, shit was serious, because they did not want to.
Well, you represent the outside world.
I do. The thing that used to bother me too, and you sit and wonder about like the old days, like the old Western days, how did so many births survive? Being in the medical field, like I went to OB the other day for training, and you hear of all these different conditions and problems with the babies and that. And the Amish have the midwives that deliver. And I remember the one that I was working a ground ambulance one time, and we got called to an Amish farm for an OB case. And I get there, it was all by candlelight, so I could hardly see what I was doing. And not to sound gross or anything, but the midwife was there, and the mother was damn near unconscious, mainly because she didn't have a blood pressure. The midwife told me, she said, well, it's laying over there. And I'm like, what's it? And what's laying over where? Well, here it was the placenta. The woman had delivered the day before. She did not deliver the placenta till the next day. It's crucial that when a woman delivers within X amount of minutes, somewhere in the 20-minute mark.
The placenta, yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, the woman could bleed to death.
Yeah.
And I wanted to take that midwife and just smack her up alongside the head and say, you stupid bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we fought to keep this woman alive, but the neat thing about with the Amish is that we used to go to probably once a month. We'd go to what they call an equestrian accident. And that's a horse and buggy, Amishman. He'd be leaving the Stoltzfus barn on Saturday night at 3 a.m. after a big drinking party. And on the way home, the horses knew their way home. But
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
the horses didn't know about stop signs or anything. And there weren't any real stoplights out in those areas, but there were stop signs. And the horses would blow through an intersection and get hit by a big car or truck. We'd get there, and you just see the buggy in 100 pieces, the Amishman laying there, the horse about half dead, the state troopers shooting the horse, but when it come down to payment time, they did at the church gatherings, they did a financial gathering at church. And within 1 week, they were coming to our billing office with a bag or a briefcase or whatever, full
Full
cash.
money. Yeah, cash. Yep.
Paid thousands of dollars. Paid. Yeah, they were good at that.
Well, we got here just east of me, about 10 miles or so. We have two different Mennonites. One's the old world order, which is horse and buggy. And we also have the Mexican Mennonites. Okay.
The
Mexican Mennonites they drive cars and they use electricity. Okay. But in the hospital here in St. Thomas, where I live, they have a couple nurses that are Mennonites.
Mm-hmm.
Because when they come in, they know the protocols and
Yeah. I found funny, I mentioned about my buddy marrying the Mennonite girl, Vieta, and her dad and brothers especially were completely against Woody because he had been married once before. So that was against their religion.
He was stained. Yep.
Yeah. And they were worried about her brothers showing up at the church and somehow disrupting the wedding. Woody was a big boy. He was like 6 foot, about 250. His brothers were bigger. And he had his brothers at the back of the church during the ceremony to make sure they didn't show up. The funny thing I found with the Amish versus the Mennonites, and generally they did not get along or agree on a lot of things, but where the Mennonites will indulge in some minor modern technology where the Amish will not. But one of the big things is the Mennonites will not drink. And at the wedding, obviously it was a very dry wedding, so we had our own portable bar at my buddy's Suburban. And I got kind of hammered that night, but I remember what was his name? I forget. I went up to him, Mr. So-and-so, and I was talking to him. He says, "Oh, Ronald," he says, "you indulge in strong drink." He could tell I'm standing above and strong. They called it strong drink. Yep. I just found that funny. So, but the Amish, oh my God, they drink like fish. It's just, it's, they'll actually, in that southeastern portion of Pennsylvania where I live, within 45-minute drive, you could be into Delaware or Maryland. And I believe, if I remember correctly, there wasn't a sales tax on alcohol, but they would hire a driver, so to speak, somebody with a van or a pickup truck, or somebody with a trailer. And they would go down to these liquor stores or these beer distributors. They would load up a pickup truck, top to bottom, front to back, and just full of cases of beer. And then Saturday night, they'd have their swinging barn party. And oh yeah.
So they were beer drinkers. They weren't drinking hard liquor.
Oh, they drank anything. Yeah. But in my opinion, again, nothing more in my opinion, I think they're a bunch of hypocrites. Because yes, they have their beliefs and everything, but they get the English world, the American world, to believe that, it's okay for them to do this, do that. For instance, they feel they didn't have to get hunting license. And I actually had a neighbor, lived about 3/4 mile down the road. And I kind of did this in a sneaky way. I stopped at his house once in uniform, coming home from work. So I looked all professional. And I said, "Hi," I introduced myself, and I live up the street from you. And I said, "Any chance," I said, "you would permit me to hunt on your property? I see a lot of deer on your property." And he said, "Yes." He said, "I'll tell you what." He said, "You are the only one allowed to be on my property." I said, "Okay." And he said, and his exact words were, "You see any of those goddamn Amish, you go shoot them bastards." I'm like, "Well, I'm not going to do that." I said, "But," I said, "I will give me your number and I will call you," and then I understood why. I was actually in the middle of his property. I was about 25 feet up in a tree stand. All of a sudden I saw a whole gaggle of them coming through his land, and they were putting on what they call a drive. And I know, Hodges, you're familiar with a drive.
Driving the deer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So, and the one guy came down and stopped right underneath my tree. I'm like, "Yo, you guys are trespassing." And he looked back down and ignored me. He didn't give a shit. And I used to hear, when they would put on those drives, you would hear 10, 15, 20 shots at a time. If the old Paul Hodges, you've heard of this phrase, if it's brown, it's down. They would shoot a ton of deer all illegally, and then they would run them up to the barn, and you'd hear the saws starting up there where they were up there quartering up the deer. My one buddy was a game warden. He did this investigation for 3 or 4 months, but he busted a whole bunch of them, taking deer meat down to Philadelphia and selling it. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
They didn't care whether they were shooting bucks or does or whatever.
No.
it pisses me off because you get a whole 5-acre bush, guys surrounded, and then anything that runs out, they shoot it, right?
Yep.
Come on. You know,
Yeah.
I'm hunting right next door to it and stuff. And I'd be sitting there in my stand, guy walking by, you know, like, bang! Oh, look. Just,
We have Amish here. We actually, Ralph has a lease on an Amish farm here. Matter of fact, they built that bed and that stand in my other bedroom, the Amish carpenter there. You know, it's I don't quite understand where they don't believe in like electricity and you know, like modern lights in your home, but they will conduct a business. When I lived back in Pennsylvania, I was right on the edge of Lancaster County, and but they would run like a hardware store. There was one hardware store in Honeybrook where I used to live, and it had all the modern cash registers and, you know, everything electronic you could think about in their business, but not in their home. You know what I mean? I just found that strange. Yeah, they're an interesting group of people, but I'm interested to meet up with this guy this morning for breakfast, and I got some questions. I hope you don't mind me asking, but I'm just out of curiosity, you know, because I want to learn.
Who are you playing with? Slooks and I are playing a member. Well, I sat down with Craig Duffy today. Him and the two guys meet up at McDonald's, and I walked in and they were sitting back there, so I was talking. He said to say hello too. I said I was bringing my old sandwich. We got this one guy had, like where I grew up, the guy that built all the houses on North.
what deck were you playing? Oh, he's talking to somebody. Okay.
Oh, the neighbor must be down.
Or yeah, there's tenant or something, maybe. Yeah.
Well, Chuck doesn't know what shoot fly pie is. He left.
Yeah.
But
Hey, good morning, Mike. You go back to work, or you going hunting next?
I'm, you know, I really don't have anything on my plans today. If the sun comes out, and which it's not looking like it will, I may finish my deck today, but other than that, I honestly don't know what I'm gonna do today.
Yeah.
My hunters come in on Sunday,
Sunday. Oh, okay.
and then I hunt Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for antelope. Friday I go for the buffalo hunt.
That's got to be something going buffalo hunting.
Yeah, this is the first timer for me. So I don't find a lot of challenge, you know, in it.
Yeah. You just got to sit there. And hopefully, they walk by, I guess, or what?
Yeah, I guess it's out
Not
on
like
a
you
private
call them
ranch.
out. There's no way of calling them or anything.
No. It's just a matter of finding the herd and, you know, driving the property.
Yeah.
But my friend Don is going. He's getting so damn bullheaded. Oh, he drove me nuts yesterday. The boss told him he has a 300 Win Mag.
Yeah.
220 grain bullet. It's what we call the Best of the West. Best of the West is they're in Cody, Wyoming, and they manufacture guns there. They are top of the line. I have a Best of the West Husqvarna scope on one of my rifles. That's the one, my long distance scope. Anyhow, he had one of their guns and scope all put together. It's a 300 Win Mag that we took it out. He asked me to help him sight it in yesterday. So he came up to the ranch yesterday. I broke away from doing the taxidermy work, and he brought that and his 4570. Now, Ralph told him that 300 with that 220 green bullet's going to do the trick. That gun shot perfect. He wants to take both guns. And have you ever heard of Henry rifles, Paul?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Lever action.
Yeah, they're top of the line.
Yeah.
But brand new Henry rifle. And he wouldn't listen to me. But I told him, I said, this is, again, nothing more in my opinion, but I've always done a break-in period with a barrel. There's a certain procedure that you do when you break in a barrel. It helps to really reduce copper filing later on down the road. And he just sat there and shot that thing. Well, that thing was shooting all over the damn place. We couldn't zero it. And I finally said, Don, let's stop. I said, Ralph told you that 300 will work perfect. I said, we made one adjustment on the scope yesterday. You were shooting an inch high at 100 yards and you're dead center. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. It's what that gun's supposed to shoot. And I said, you want to bring that 4570, but there's no consistency. It's a brand new rifle. Something's not right. I don't know what, but something's not right. I said, let's put it away. Take your 300, go with one gun. I will bring my 7 mag as a backup. But you're getting all barky on me yesterday. Jeez. Oh, you drive me nuts. Boots on the ground finally in Alaska Sunday. Oh yeah, Chuck's doing his Alaskan premiere. I'm having like writer's block on my.
Oh yeah, because you still got all your pictures to do. Yeah,
oh God, I got a nice start to it, real nice start. I'm very happy so far, but
cool.
I'm at a stuck point. You know, it's like, what do I put in next according to the music beat? And yeah, but what I have so far looks pretty badass. I just hope I can.
So
I'm meticulous.
Yeah. So did you want to call it, Paul? Go visit with him? Yeah, I'm heading out soon anyway, so I got to do signs. He's got company over there, right?
I got company here, so I'm going to call it, Ron.
Oh, okay.
And but maybe you'll join us this evening.
I'll probably, I should be back.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, should be.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody in the chat, thanks for being here. We'll see all of you again this evening.
Yep. See you guys. Have
Bye.
a good
Thanks,
day.
Ron. Yep.
Go
I'll
ahead.
see you tonight, Paul. When I get down to the trailer. I don't know what exact time, but I should be there.
All right. Take care,
Okay.
everybody. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
See you